Possibilities for Trust, Gemini New Moon. Allow me to explore for you some of the astrological threads of the new moon in Gemini on 27th of May at 6 degrees of Gemini at 3:02 a.m. Universal Time. Maybe we can even begin to weave some together by sharing and breathing life into them. I'm Sonia of Celestia Astrology. I'd be so grateful if you enjoy this, if you like, subscribe, and do comment or share a moon emoji or a magpie emoji if you've enjoyed this and if it's been meaningful or helpful for you. With this Gemini new moon, we are invited to unleash our imagination and indulge natural curiosity, exploring the realms of communication, learning, and connection. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, perception, and translation. As an air sign, Gemini thrives in the realm of ideas, connections, language, and pattern recognition. This is a masculine or yang sign, which means it is associated with activity, movement, externalization, initiation, and all things that may move fast here. It has a mutable or double-bodied modality. After all, this is a sign of the twins. This offers adaptability, curiosity, and the desire to explore all sides of a situation before choosing a path. It can also bring a two-sided or dual nature to all things here. Mercury is at home here in Gemini, which means that we find the full expression of all that the planet Mercury can offer, but not without the challenge of its shadow side. The intellect darts quickly from one idea to another, possibly before conclusions can be formed. It might prefer the question to the answer, and the journey to the destination. Under this new moon, the qualities of mental flexibility, linguistic dexterity, and observational insight are heightened, but so too can be distraction, scattered focus, anxiety, and analysis paralysis. There are many tempting rabbit holes which can distract and enchant Gemini. They will often self-describe as Jack or Jacqueline of many trades, resulting in an amazing breadth of information and knowledge. However, studies or books may be left unfinished, always intended to be returned to when something more interesting or new came along. Such is the flexibility and gift of the mutable nature, adaptability. Gemini's mutable quality allows it to easily adapt to changing circumstances, seeking connections and exchanging ideas. This new moon highlights these themes, urging us to consider how we communicate, learn, and connect with the world around us. Reflect on what new conversations you now want to initiate, new skills you want to learn, or how you can deepen your existing connections. New moons are always about beginnings, setting the stage for a lunar cycle. Dietrich Pessin's concept of the moon family, outlined in Lunar Shadows 3, suggests that each new moon initiates a series of interconnected phases, creating a predictive pattern. This gives us a longer 27-month narrative that unfolds every 9 months as the moon returns to the same part of the sky to form turning points or pivots in the story. A new moon is the beginning of the cycle, a seed moment full of potential where we set intentions and orient towards new growth. It is the invisible phase, asking us to tune into subtler inner promptings and begin again, often without external clarity. The dates for this lunar cycle are the new moon, the seed phase, 27th of May 2025. The first quarter, the action phase, 24th of February 2026. The full moon, revelation phase, 24th of November 2026. And the last quarter, release, 25th of August 2027. This Gemini new moon sees a story arc focused on Gemini themes: communication, information, duality, learning, inner knowing, and adaptability. What new stories are you ready to write in your life, particularly concerning how you interact and understand the world? Those with placements near 6 degrees of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces will feel this most directly, and are encouraged to track these dates to co-create as their story unfolds. All mutable sign placements are likely to see some connection. That's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, as well as those with prominent Mercury placements, for example, Gemini or Virgo rising, or Gemini or Virgo sun and moon signs. or Mercury as your Lord of the Year. The other two air signs, Libra and Aquarius, may also notice placements around 6 degrees, feeling the story unfold as well. An astrologer or astro coach can help you identify and work with it. The first decan of Gemini is co-ruled by Jupiter and Mercury. An uncomfortable pairing as Gemini and the sign that Jupiter rules, Sagittarius, sit opposite each other in the zodiac. This means that each planet is in exile or detriment in the other's sign. Jupiter is currently in detriment in Gemini in the sky. This brings together the desire to know, Mercury, with the desire to believe, Jupiter. The result of this can be a decan driven by a thirst for meaning, understanding and exploration, but not without the risk of mental overwhelm. Austin Coppock names this decan the apple, referring to the story of Adam and Eve, the original quest for forbidden knowledge, and the double-edged sword it presents, making that choice and the curse then of discovery. He speaks of an awareness of duality and the complexity within apparent simplicities, and how this unlocks the capacity to code all things, to develop skills and knowledge in many different areas. Kira Ryberg calls it curiosity, evoking a playful, inquisitive nature that seeks out truth from all angles. It is curiosity that is the motivating force for Alice in Wonderland. She learns much about herself and the nature of time and reality on her journey. However, we know not everything was as it seemed. The Wild Way Oracle calls it trust yourself, emphasizing the keywords infinite possibilities, analysis paralysis, and inner knowing. We see a card with a blindfolded magpie resting on a branch. He wears a chain with what may be a compass to guide him. Gemini magpie has an extremely curious mind and loves nothing more than to explore all possible options, yet sometimes the desire for multiplicity generates overthinking. When this happens, remember to drop it out of your head and into your heart. The Gemini magpie is free to fly in any direction he chooses. This suggests that when we listen closely to our inner knowing, we too can fly, can open our wings to the new possibilities of this new moon. We can trust the winds of the Gemini breeze to lift us out and away from any stuck or limiting beliefs and stagnancy. This decan presents us with a vast array of possibilities, an open field of potential. However, this very jovial abundance can also lead to mercurial overthinking and analysis paralysis. This decan holds the tension between knowing too much and not enough, balancing on the beam between clarity and confusion. The key to mastery here lies in inner knowing, trusting your intuition and inner knowing to guide you through the maze of choices. Nurture the ability to return to heart wisdom when the mind begins to spiral. The tarot card associated with this decan, the Eight of Swords, reflects this challenge. This card often depicts a female figure, bound and blindfolded, symbolising the feeling of being trapped by one's own thoughts and circumstances. The feet of the figure are close to a small body of water, symbolising the intuition and feelings just within reach. In some card illustrations, her feet are in the water. We also see swords at their back and side. They are not surrounded and trapped by them, but a metaphorical wall has been created by these thoughts. It illustrates the potential for mental blocks and self-imposed limitations that can arise from the Gemini 1 decan's tendency towards overthinking. It can remind us that sometimes the biggest barriers are the ones we create in our own minds. We see that self-imposed barriers are often the hardest to overcome. This card shows us what happens when the mind turns on itself. Infinite options can become traps. Spending too long in endless rumination only leads us to thought spirals and paralysis. The way out is rarely through logic, reasoning, and intellect alone, but through dipping that toe in the water and leaning into intuition, faith, and making the choice to listen to and trust your heart. We are asked to turn our attention inwards to find the answers. Connect with the water for insight on which of these, the thoughts, intellect, and choices, is truly aligned with our inner self. T. Susan Chang's verse for this decan offers a beautiful and insightful perspective. O tangled web, reveal to me what is fated, what is free. Out there where no one can find you, unsnare the hidden threads that bind you. You may not do all that you will, You can also choose to be still. Though how I know I can't explain, the rules of fortune still obtain. This verse explores the Gemini 1 decan's inherent duality and the challenge of navigating choices. It reminds us that while we may feel bound by circumstances, we also have the power to choose stillness and find clarity amidst the complexity. We meet with the desire to discern what is within our power to change and what is not. The tangled web of thought, fate, and free will must be patiently unspooled, while we are reminded that sometimes clarity comes not from effort, but from stillness. It encourages a deep dive into self-reflection to discern what truly holds us back. There is a timely reminder that, however powerful our minds, none of us escape the rules of fate and fortune. Astrological conversations. The new moon's astrological aspects offer insights into its potential and its nuances. Mercury and Jupiter are both co-present in Gemini, amplifying Gemini's natural curiosity and expansiveness. This makes it a time for big ideas, grand learning, and optimistic communication. Ideas, plans, and messages could carry more weight. We may overthink, but we may also glimpse brilliance and receive messages, so be open to all forms of communication. Trine to Pluto in Aquarius with ruler Mercury exact in a helpful connection. This empowering aspect encourages us to communicate our truths authentically and embrace change. We may receive insights into the shadow side of our thoughts and ideas. Things we may have thought long buried may resurface to enable us to make profound shifts in our thinking and communication patterns. We may have new, sharp perceptions, penetrating thoughts, and the potential to rewrite inner scripts. Whole sign square to the lunar nodes highlights potential tension and adds a fated quality. Your choices now may have karmic undertones, our relationship to knowledge, speech, beliefs, or with our trust of our inner self is at a turning point. Ruler Mercury sextiles Neptune and Saturn in Aries. This encourages us to find a practical balance between our dreams and responsibilities. It suggests that clear, grounded communication can help manifest our highest ideals. Neptune may encourage intuitive downloads, dreams, and poetic thinking with Mercury, or confuse and muddle our overthinking. Its sextile to Saturn adds discipline and action to imagination, grounding dreams in tangible forms, enabling us to take the first steps on our thoughts and ideals. This new moon in Gemini offers a profound opportunity for mental clarity and new beginnings. By embracing the sign's inherent curiosity, trusting our inner knowing, and being mindful of the potential for overthinking, we can begin to untangle the web of possibilities and write a new, more connected chapter in our lives. Bring a mindful awareness to your thoughts as you move forward. If you listen to my Astro Mindfulness, you will be familiar with identifying your mindful anchor. Return to your mindful anchor when you find thoughts and choices overwhelming. Trust your heart to guide you forwards. Choose that stillness and observe what it reveals. See if, like the magpie, you can sense which way the Gemini breeze is blowing and allow yourself to be lifted on the airy currents. Then ask, does that choice empower you? Trust yourself. Travel well, friends. If you're looking for an astrologer, and if you enjoy my style of astrology, I currently have space to take on new clients. If you would like a personal, individual astrology reading, I set a Reiki intention for every client before the reading. You can, of course, opt out of this if you prefer when you book at celestiaastrology.com. The Guardian of your portal reading is still available by donation if you want to try a reading from a different perspective. Please do read about this style of reading before booking so that you know it is for you. If you prefer to go deeper and work with the moon cycles and the planets in your personal chart, then I also offer astro coaching. Please contact me through a message here or book at celestiaastrology.com. You can also become a paid subscriber to download my astro coaching workbook and access the archive of posts which guide you through it, working with the moons. Upgrade your level to join the astro coaching group and astrology Q&A, which is live every month. Please do leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts, experiences, or questions. Thank you.